Most people are always consuming information from one medium to another. There's always something to entertain us, from YouTube to music to social media. Most people will do anything to avoid feeling bored. But what if I told you feeling bored can actually be beneficial? First off, what is boredom? Boredom is when none of the options you have appeal to you. You're mentally alert, but you don't have anywhere to direct that energy to. When you're bored, you feel tired, sluggish, and uninterested. When most people are bored, they end up reaching for their phone to avoid feeling bored. No one likes the feeling of boredom, but it's actually a good thing that you shouldn't avoid. Our feelings are there to tell us things. Feeling bored is a sign that whatever you're doing with your time isn't good for you. It's a sign that something about that situation isn't working for you. You might think you're not missing out on much by avoiding boredom, but research suggests otherwise. There's a lot of research out there that talks about how boredom is good for creativity. When you're bored, your mind wanders and looks within to keep you entertained. Have you ever found that you get your best ideas in the shower or while doing some other mundane task? During those times, your body was on autopilot, and the mind was free to wander and come up with creative ideas. When you avoid boredom by scrolling through your phone, your mind doesn't have the space to wander and be creative. Your brain needs time to rest in order to be creative. Have you ever tried to do creative work after a long day of work? I tried it a few times before, and it's really difficult. Instead of bombarding your brain with all sorts of stimuli, just sit back and let your mind wander and be creative. When you avoid being bored, you also lose the ability to channel your energy into doing something productive. There's a study conducted where volunteers were placed in a room for between 6 to 15 minutes with nothing but a button that will shock them if pressed. In the end, 67% of males and 25% of females ended up pressing the button. All those people chose to get shocked instead of doing nothing and being alone with their thoughts. This is despite the fact that before the experiment, they said they would pay money to avoid being shocked. People prefer physical pain instead of being bored and alone with their thoughts. Now imagine if you forced yourself into a situation where you have to do the work you need to get done, or do nothing. You might start fidgeting and procrastinating at first, but eventually, you'll do the work and find that work stimulating since it's better than doing nothing. Aside from using it to motivate us to work, boredom also motivates us to design our lives and chase our dreams. Someone that is doing everything they can to chase their dreams will rarely find themselves bored. There's always something going on every day for them. When you're bored and you allow yourself to be bored, you'll start thinking about the future and start questioning if what you're doing really aligns with what you want. I mentioned before that when you're bored, you have a lot of energy but don't know where to direct that energy. Thinking about the future will help you figure out how you can use that energy to create your best life. For me personally, being bored allowed me to really think about what I wanted in life and what direction I wanted to go in. If the idea of just sitting there and doing nothing sounds terrifying, you can start small. You don't need to torture yourself and sit around in boredom for an hour. Starting small can mean a lot of things, depending on your lifestyle. If you often go for walks, you can just walk and not play any music, so your mind has space to wander. When you're doing chores, you can just do them and let your mind wander, and don't play any music or podcasts in the background. When you do feel that feeling of boredom, resist the urge to take out your phone and scroll through something. If you do want to sit around and do nothing, you can try mindfulness meditation for at least 10 minutes. Mindfulness meditation is super simple. You just sit there with your eyes closed and breathe in and breathe out. Your mind will start wandering and thinking of all these random thoughts. Just notice these thoughts and bring your attention back to your breath. The point of meditation isn't to completely stop thinking. That's impossible. Meditation is done so you can notice your thoughts and be in the moment. If this sounds a bit confusing, there's lots of resources out there on meditation that can explain it much better. To recap, boredom is a good thing. It tells you that the situation isn't working out for you, and that you have some energy that you need to direct somewhere. Feeling bored allows you to really think about what you want to do in life, and then you can channel that energy into taking action to create your dream life. Do you often find yourself bored? Leave a comment below and check out the video on the end screen on how to deal with loneliness If that's something you're struggling with,